Hey everybody, Joey here. Welcome back to the Joshua Generation channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this new video in this new series that we've got going on, What Will Heaven Be Like Part 2. Last week we talked about this very question, what will heaven be like? And we tried to answer that a little bit. And then I posed another question, what will we do in heaven? But after a lot of research and after reading this good book right here, that the Bible offers a lot more answers to what we will not have to do than to the question, what will we do in heaven? And so I really want to go down that route of what will we not do in heaven, and then deduce an answer to the question, what will we do in heaven, from our answers to this question that we're going to answer in this video. What will we not have to do in heaven? So without further ado, let's jump right into the video, guys. First up, we will not feel pain or sorrow or any of that nasty business when we are in heaven. And I want to read you guys a verse from the book of Revelation written by John. And it's in the chapter of 21, the 21st chapter, verse 4. And it says, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." I want to point some things out to you guys. He will wipe every tear from our eyes. Now, it doesn't specify what kind of tears, that we can cry tears of joy, that something so good has happened, so amazing has happened, that we cannot help but shed tears out of just pure excitement and elation. But there are also tears that come with great loss. That something so horrible has happened to us that we cannot help but shed tears out of mourning and pain and suffering. I believe that in heaven there will be great joy. And with great joy comes a physical reaction. And while we won't have our bodies, our physical bodies in heaven, that there will be great tears of joy. That there will be great celebration. And if we are created in God's image, and if we cry on this earth out of joy, I believe that we will be crying tears of joy at times in heaven, because it will be so jam-packed of perfection and joy and elation and excitement and celebration, guys. As for tears of sadness, there will be no such thing in heaven. And God will get rid of every single chance we could ever have in heaven of crying tears of sadness, because there is no room in heaven for evil or negativity. So He will wipe our tears from our eyes. There will be no more death. Death has gone away. We are there for eternity, living in the full presence of God. There will be no more death, no more mourning, because there will be so much celebration. No more crying, unless it's tears of joy, and no more pain. We will not feel physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual pain anymore, because we are in the divine, perfect, all-encompassing presence of a joy-giving, life-breathing God. That's number one of what we won't have to deal with in heaven. Moving on to number two, we will not have the necessity of food or drink in heaven. Now, I know what you guys may be thinking is like, well, I mean, I'm going to be there for a long time. Hopefully God's got a buffet somewhere. Maybe He's got a China Delight or a hibachi grill or another sort of buffet that I can chow down on in between worship services. No, guys. No, because I want to challenge you guys on something that, and I want to throw this out there. We won't even realize that we haven't eaten or drunk anything, because there will be so much to do, so much worship to be had, so much celebration to experience, so much of God to just bask in the glory in, that we won't even realize that we're not hungry or thirsty. And it's crazy to think about that, automatically I want to think, oh man, in a couple of millennia, I'll realize, oh, I haven't drunk anything. I haven't eaten anything in a while. What? We won't even realize that we haven't done those things, because there's going to be so much to do in heaven. There will be so much to do and to see and to experience, to feel, to relate to worship with, and to worship to in heaven, that we won't even realize our physical necessities have passed away. I want to read this verse in Revelation, same book, chapter 7, verse 16, and it just nails it right on the head. And it says, never again will they hunger, never again will they thirst. And God chooses each word he speaks into the hearts of man very precisely. And when he says never again, he means never again in all of time and space. If they are in my presence in heaven, they will never hunger or thirst. Never again. Never again. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is heaven, guys. This is heaven. This is incredible. And that's just two things that we won't have to deal with. Two physical necessities that we won't have to deal with. And moving on to the third, guys, we need to wrap this video up, but we will not grow tired or weary at all. Now, I'm reading from notes, so when I look down, I'm not looking away from you guys. I'm just looking at my notes. But growing tired of something or growing weary of somebody's voice or somebody's actions has to do with being bored with somebody. Most of the time. I'm just speculating here. But in my opinion, that's what growing tired of something means. Forget about physical exhaustion just for a second, but growing mentally tired of something, growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally weary of what's going on in our lives, that will pass away. There is going to be nothing in heaven that will make us emotionally, mentally, physically, or spiritually tired or weary. Nothing in heaven. And because there is no necessity of food or drink, there is no way that we could ever get tired or weary, physically tired or weary. Because we won't have the necessity of building up our energy or building up our food source or making sure that we're getting our daily vitamins and minerals, we have no necessity of sleeping. We have no necessity of getting tired. We have no necessity of slowing down. That it is go, go, go for all eternity. And guys, you know what? That may seem very intimidating. And that may seem a little too much. But if you really understand God, and that is a very broad statement because there is no completely understanding the Lord. But if you start to think in terms of an all-powerful, ever-present, ever-existing God, just for a moment, then you begin to imagine what heaven will truly be like. And guys, I believe wholeheartedly that heaven is going to be non-stop worship, non-stop celebration, non-stop experiencing the presence, just being, existing in the presence of the Almighty Father, who from the beginning of this universe planned your existence, that He had a special plan for you, and He is up there in heaven right now waiting for you to come back to Him, waiting for you to get into a relationship with Him. Guys, the invitation is yours to accept or decline. He has a spot in the book of life ready for your name. And He has a mansion in heaven waiting for you guys. And I urge you to do your research. Read this good book. Go online and look at commentaries. Message me, email me, send a messenger pigeon to me, ask me questions. I want to talk with you guys. But that wraps it up for this video. And sorry for getting a little impassioned, but when I start to think about the grandeur and the expansiveness of God, I just can't help but get emotional and excited. It's just one of the thorns in my side, if it could ever possibly become a thorn. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, concerns, revelations, questions, email me, message me, text me if you have my number, because I know some of my friends who are watching this, you have my number. No excuses. But guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you want to get into contact with me, please do so. I will be more than happy to talk with you guys about this more in depth, and we will tackle another question as to what heaven will be like next week. Have a great week, guys. And one last thing before I go. Joshua Generation, you are loved, wanted, and called into greatness by a good, good Father. Bye, guys.